What is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Occult Rejects. Pretty sure we're doing this as the Occult Rejects. Episode 2 on our series of Rustic Gods. And I am joined by the one and only Headless Giant, my co-host for this series. What's going on, brother? How you doing this evening?
How are you? This is a good night to talk about this. I think there's a lot of things happening in nature right now, and we got to get into harmony with nature so we can start to understand the rustic gods, offspring, the nature spirits, the elementals.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of techniques to where we can get more in harmony with those elementals and start to understand things a little bit better in that regards, understand ourselves and understand the world around us. What I'm wearing now are called Dicyanin
I'm
goggles.
just gonna ask, what are those? And guys, my name's Jules. I'm the host of the Gray Pill podcast. Obviously, you're watching this on the Gray Pill channel. It's still an Occult Reject show. So, yeah, welcome back. Episode 2. First episode was on Pan. We had a good time on that one. Probably can do a part 2. You know, maybe have a couple other people on with us. Who knows? I
Well,
was,
this is
I,
where we
well, I was,
this is where we get really granular. I think people don't understand how these Olympians and Titans and all these other, gods and stuff relate to actually nature. And I think that's what we're
right.
going to get into.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say the Green Man episode we did. I'd like to do a part 2 on that as well because there's some things I found out since then that I'd like to discuss. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. What's up, Rat, Xerox, Donald, JC? It's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Yeah, I've been sick this past week, dude. So I didn't really promote the show. I've been getting my ass kicked at work this week as well. So you know. Feel better now. I feel better now. And yeah, guys, I don't have really any shows this weekend. We're doing esoteric book review tomorrow morning. I think we're reading Hermes Trismegistus. It's some treatise that Manly P. Hall wrote that Subliminal found. So it's gonna be good. And then I think we're gonna do the season finale of Twin Peaks on Sunday. The last 3 episodes. I think we're gonna do that in one stream. So that'll be fun. And that'll make up for me not booking any shows this weekend. However, Monday I think I'm going on Jacob's show, so y'all tune in for that. And I'll actually go on because I won't be sick. Headless, is there anything you want to plug before we get
Check
going?
out the trialogues this Sunday, and that's going to be with Ethan Indigo and possibly another appearance from Ricardo. And we're just going to be talking about topics going all over the chart and then coming back to the start. That's what I love to do. So it's going to be a fun time. And also on Thursdays, we do a mailbag where you can send us your metaphysical or occult sort of experiences or even dreams. I love mall dreams. There's mall
That's
world
so
out
cool,
there.
dude.
A
That'd be
lot of
creepy.
people end up in mall world.
That'd be
You,
creepy,
have you
bro.
ever
That's
had a
like a
mall
back
dream?
rooms or
It
something. That's
is.
what it reminds me of. What do you think the back rooms is?
Well, I think malls are going extinct, and I think as an egregore, they're kind of reaching out to humans to come back. Come back. Look, we've got escalators that go in circles, and it's just sort of malformed because it was never really good at advertising. In the first place, it was kind of bulky and weird. And you go in there, and the pretzels would be great and stuff, but then you go in Spencer's and pick up the deck of cards and be like, what is this shit? And you'd walk out of there feeling kind of strange. And so that's sort of what I see is going on with the mall dreams is a lot of people are having these connections with the past that maybe are idealized or brought out of nothing. If you know about the
Brett.
origin on those,
What's
pretzels are the shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. He said pretzels. That was one thing that we had. We didn't have a big mall, and it was in Jackson. It was on County Line right there. So not the safest place. And there's a movie theater that we used to go to. Used to, right? Um, But I don't know, poor state in America. They're not really focused on malls and especially in certain parts of the county. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's that way all
it's
over the country.
it's something that my kids won't get to experience, like getting dropped off at the mall by us and getting picked up with their friends. You know what I mean? Like it sucks, man. It sucks. I've been having to accept that lately too. It's like, fuck, dude, that'll never happen again. You know, like I've already accepted it, but just the realization of it. A
Jules,
lot
that
can
was the
happen when you're
Agora.
sick. You know, you have a lot of time to think. So
Right. That was the Agora in ancient Greece. This is the place where all these different groups could gather together and have their own little spot. They could show off. They could do all sorts of stuff in these spaces as a kid. But now it's like with the internet and the increase of, poverty and crime.
cameras everywhere.
Right? Where's the Agora anymore? Where's the place where all these different people can get together and
Where's the genius loci, dude? The spirit of the place, you know?
it's coming to you in your dreams. Small World is still crying out for you.
Got Dream Giants dropping it in your ear, dude. Dude, last night I fell asleep listening to it was some kind of Game of Thrones thing. I was nerding out and woke up to like Gregorian chanting, and it was so peaceful. It was awesome, dude. It was cool. I'm gonna try that again tonight.
Right?
Not fall asleep to it, but try to wake up to it.
JC's talking about the hyper consumerism. That's sort of like the death blow that you get in these sort of liminal spaces. Like that's why.
Is that what you meant by the mall dreams? Because
Yeah.
we were talking about dreams because you have Headless's mailbag. I've been calling it. I think I've been calling it Headless's magic bag for months.
Good enough.
Either one works. But yeah, dude.
That's why they seem malformed. It's the consumerism. That's why all these mall dreams are kind of strange. You know,
you do have like outlet malls and stuff, but it's not the same, bro. It's not.
Think about the mini mall. Do you remember the mini mall? I love the mini. It's like you've got a strip mall, and then inside the strip mall behind it, you've got this little mini mall, and like it ends at a dead end, and there's like maybe a theater or something, or maybe a shoe store on the inside.
We have one of those.
It's really small.
Yeah, we have one of those. It's actually real nice. It's called the Renaissance. It have like a theater, but there's just a bunch of office buildings next to it and stuff. So I mean, it's probably the only place you're gonna go, like a safe movie theater. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. But it's just, these spaces are going away, and at least appreciate it a little bit.
There's another one, but the movie theater mall is definitely like the experience, So yeah, man, kids.
That was the best they had to offer.
Yeah, man, kids will not have it as good as we had it. They think they have it better, but really they don't.
Well, I think that it would be a great addition to the sort of pantheon of spirits, the idea of shared dream space, right? That's a spirit. There might be more than one. The ones that I hear about is the mall dreams, and maybe there are some other sort of creatures that reoccur in people's dreams that
maybe some evil creatures. Sometimes you have some negative spirits visiting you. That's when you have nightmares. I mean, dude, that would make sense. As well as the state of mind you're in when you go to sleep, obviously, and what you've consumed that day, and on a lot of things, probably your diet. A lot of stuff can dictate the outcome.
Crystal meth. Crystal meth, for instance.
You'll have dreams, but you won't be asleep.
Right. Well, they've got those shadow people that occur to the meth heads, right? And you ask any meth head, they're going to tell you that they've been pursued after staying awake for several days by these shadow creatures or shadow people.
Is that the Hat Man?
Yes.
Same thing?
Yes. Well, sometimes it's the Hat Man, sometimes it's just shadow creatures, but it's same idea, right? It's this
Right.
blacker than black shadow.
Malls are crucial fortification during zombie apocalypse. I agree. Um, I don't know. I think maybe not anymore though. Too many people seen Dawn of the Dead. You got too many people that'll go to the mall, and you got a problem. And you
Well,
got like a
again,
Hurricane Katrina situation. It won't end good.
if you have sandbags, right, this is a defensible location where a lot of people can gather and then, shoot from the inside out, which is, valuable. You don't want to be the only guy with a rifle and have 360-degree coverage. So malls could possibly be a defensible location. I know that was the case in my mall dreams. It seemed like we were under martial law and everybody was sort of hustled into these malls. And I would have this dream over and over again. And it seemed like, we were kind of stuck there, either imprisoned or maybe, beset on all sides by whatever was attacking. But in essence, there's sort of a castle aspect to these malls as well. It's fortified location.
What do you think about your dreams coming true?
Well, in essence, every time you dream, they're coming true because on some level, your body is experiencing where you're at in the dream.
Right. Yeah.
So having a shared space really does open up a kind of shared experience between two bodies, right? Because that's where the dreams are felt at. So I think that maybe if we think about dreams as being a portal between people, they could be a portal between time as well. So having dreams come true would just sort of be like on the vertical axis instead of on the horizontal axis of where these portals are taking you. So having a dream that comes true later on would seem kind of natural. Maybe having a malformed dream that comes true where you've only got part of it and then you see something different, some kind of a deja vu situation. I think it wouldn't be
Yeah.
too uncommon to have those kind of, see what I mean?
Dude, I
What
have a
happens?
deja vu at least once a week. Um, yeah, that feeling that you get when you have it, dude, there's nothing like it. That feeling of that you're like, yeah, I've been here before. Yeah.
Do you get the chill?
Yes. Big time.
There you
Big
go.
chill, dude. Super big chill. Now when it happens, dude, I'm like all giddy about it, my son doesn't get it. I'm just like, that's cool, man. I've never had like a cryptid experience, anything really paranormal happen. So when I have stuff like that happen spiritually and, well, through prayer and stuff as well, there's a lot of states of mind spiritually that you can get to through spiritual practices. And
So my friend in college, he was telling me he uses those chill experiences to reverberate the energy. So as soon as you feel that
that's
chill
good.
coming up your spine, once it reaches the top of your head, you consciously send it back down your spine and then try to reverberate it back and forth to create sort of like this vibrational polar energy within your own body.
Most people would say that they couldn't do it or whatever. What do you have to say about that?
Oh, once
You
it
think it's just an
happens,
excuse?
you'll start to see how your conscious mind is affecting it. But most of the time, people don't think that they can consciously control these things, so they're not focused on it. We don't even have a good word for it,
I catch
right?
myself staring at the sun sometimes, and I don't know. There's something weird. You get like this weird feeling if you do it enough. I don't know. It's real weird. Just throughout the day, man. When you're supposed to look away. I don't know if you try to just look at it. It's wild, dude. I don't know if it's something with the solar energy or something that hits your eye and it does something to you, but
Well, we got to get into it because this is where I wanted to start.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, dude, the Dionysian glasses, what are those? Goggles?
they're dicyanin goggles. It's a
Cyanin
type
goggles,
of
guys.
right. It's a type of dye that's made from coal dust mixed with some kind of acid produces this shade of purple. And this shade of purple is extremely dark and extremely hard to look through. But if you've got a bright light shining behind the object that you're looking at, you see a very clearly defined aura around that object. So if you're holding your hand up in front of the sun, you are going to see your aura, and that aura will change based upon different conditions. So there's an account on Instagram. What's that?
That's fascinating.
Right. So there's an account on Instagram, Museum of Tarot is his name. And what he was doing was experiments with the dicyanin goggles and his photography, because you can photograph through it and see the aura just as easily as you can with your naked eyes. It's not some sort of trick, right? So if you're looking through the dicyanin goggles with your cell phone camera, you're going to catch the aura as well. It's right there.
Really?
So he was measuring the aura when they were having a solar eclipse. And what he saw is during the solar eclipse, the aura grew. After the solar eclipse, it went back down.
Why is that?
Nobody's studying this shit. This is the front lines. This is the frontier.
I know Nick loves to talk about eclipses and the eye, and that's what he talked about when he first came on my show. Shout out, Nick.
Why is it changing under the solar eclipse? That's a really good question. But the dicyanin goggles are incredibly limited. I got these after I started aura viewing myself already. And what I noticed with these is that it kept it to within, the first inch or so of the skin. But there's so much more to the aura than that first inch.
Have you measured your aura?
Can do it.
Have you measured your aura? Really?
Yeah, it goes out to about 6 feet of different textures and colors of energy coming out of the body. And why is that important? Well, if you go out into nature, you can see the same aura emanating off of trees, off of objects, off of signs, off of buildings. All of these things have an energy field to them. And if you think about the vibrational energy of the sun heating the object, creating that expansive heating effect in the air around it, also associated with low voltage plasmas, right? Low voltage plasmas is what creates geometric effects in the atmosphere, right? We understand this because we can actually measure it in laboratory conditions. Low voltage plasmas, which is like a structuring of the atoms in the air, occur to provide geometry to energy fields like heat. That's where the elementals are at. Plasmas are a type of conscious energy, right? At low voltage plasma, that's what's firing your brain, right? We are conscious because of low voltage plasma. The same can be said about these nature spirits. As you're watching the aura of these trees, you'll notice that there are objects moving in and out from that auric field, right? In some places, it's a lot more, and they can actually take a lot more shapes. Some places like caves can actually produce more coherent plasmas, producing the image of an elemental, right? So oftentimes as you're spelunking, you'll see like little tiny monkeys in there. The ancients called these gnomes, right? They called these earth elementals. These were the sons and daughters of the gods that progressed on a different track of evolution than we did, according to them.
The little monkeys are gnomes.
Earth spirits.
Air okay.
Spirits.
But we were talking about how these have been interpreted as juvenile Bigfoot, right?
That's the way they've been described, yes.
Or something similar.
Little people?
Yeah. I mean, I've
brownies.
I've never heard of a gnome being covered in hair, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Tommy knockers. All of these
Tommy
things are
knockers.
sort of earth spirits. Why are they happening? What's the
Well,
coherent plasma that's created from these energy fields?
well, when we first talked about the nature spirits, I asked you if it had anything to do with the elementals. And when I first started reading Manly P. Hall, I read about Paracelsus and his take on the elementals. And I did many episodes on that, and it stuck with me over time. And I keep figuring more and more out, and so I don't know,
Give it.
whenever I mean, dude, look, whenever you talk about cryptids or the nature spirits, whatever you want to kind of refer to them as, I mean, that's what I think of. Is that the only nature spirit that there would be?
There's lots.
Okay, so
So,
it's more than just the elementals.
do you know why they call the fire spirits salamanders?
No, not particularly why they call them salamanders.
Well, back in the days when a house would burn down, there would be little lizards that would scamper away from the fire because they were burrowed into the foundations of it or inside the plaster, and they were salamanders, and they wouldn't burn in the fire. But
Really?
also, if you think about the shape of the flame itself, it's almost lizard-like in a way. Like a candle is kind of, it moves in a way that is almost snake-like, kind of a lizard sort of sensation. Well, candle divination has been one of the oldest forms of divination, which is talking to the spirits that occupy this physical object, right? So you're incorporating a lot of the plasmatic effects of the changes in chemistry happening in that flame. It becomes like a portal.
Yeah, and I guess when Paracelsus is kind of when he's giving his take on them, he's in a way describing how they move when viewed, right? Um, and how they kind of like uh, twist around, looking like. And when he gives the picture of what they look like, it's something completely different from a salamander. It looks damn near like Snarf from Thundercats, and it has horns and a nose. Like it's crazy looking. Like a somewhat of a dragon, but at the same time, when you think about the seraphim, right? We're known as fiery serpents, so it's like these fiery serpents
What
have been
were
around
they
for a very long time.
what were they expecting to see? Once
I
we
don't know.
answer that question, then we kind of get the impression of what they're seeing is because they're seeing what they expected to see, right?
Okay.
Their consciousness is sort of forming that conscious energy and giving them the view that they want to see, right? This goes back into the shape shifting nature of all the gods. All the gods, all the spirits, they have a shape shifting quality to them. Why is that? It's because the observer is the one that's making their form apparent. This is the formless taking form to your eyes. Whatever they expected to
Well,
see is kind of what they end up seeing.
well, we were talking about how people perceive certain things. That's how it's going to manifest, right? If
Right.
it's something that lives in another realm and it's manifesting in the physical realm, then it's going to, oh, yeah, those salamanders are now called Charmander. Yeah, no, it would, I mean, I think that's why Charmander's portrayed as a fire Pokemon, right?
Well, we got to mention the other ones, right? So the
Excuse me.
water spirits are called undines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The air spirits, which I think the air spirits are far more common than any other spirit out there.
Yes. Yes. I think you're right. The sylphs.
Sylphs, right? You've got we talked about the salamanders and the gnomes, right? Those would be the four general classes that Paracelsus mentioned in his book.
Yeah.
And they get translated into a video game, which is where I heard about them first, which is Secret of Mana. And they add 2 more, which is Light and Darkness, to that list. Well, actually, maybe it's 3 because they've got Dryad too. So Dryad is the spirit of wood, right?
Okay.
And that would be more of a Greek concept, sort of the nymphs of the woods, right? But in essence, all of these different things are kind of represented as this ephemeral, untouchable energy that's attached to physical objects. You know, we can see the fire, but there's a spirit attached to it. We can see the ground, but there's a spirit attached to it. We can see the water, but there's a spirit attached to it.
Well, it's
The
very,
air,
very spiritual. I mean, look in when you look in the Middle East and you see these fire spirits, I've seen on a lot of paranormal videos, you know, these jinn.
Jim.
Yeah. You see them all over the world in many different cultures. So very common. But yeah, I think you're right about the sylphs. You see them pop up in a lot of stories. Very similar, like their interactions. For instance, in the story of Merlin's conception, it said that his mom was a nun and his father was a sylph. Okay, it's in the Golden Ass.
I'm going to reference this book at least once a fucking episode. If we're talking about the
Esoteric
Rustic
book review.
Guides.
Yeah, Nick thinks you're getting paid by the author, I think. So,
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you.
no, I told Subliminal
Julius?
and Rat that we got to do this on Esoteric Book Review. We have to add the Golden Ass to the wheel, in which we will do in the morning. I will be sure to tell them we got to do it for Headless. So if we end up doing it, we'll definitely be sure to have you on for all those episodes. Well, you're invited anyway. If you ever want to come hang out, if you're ever up Saturday mornings, bro, you're always invited. I mean, if any of my
Send me a
friends
link and
see
I'll
this,
be there.
we're all invited. Yeah, bro, I got you.
So the reason I bring it up is because of Zephyrus. Zephyrus is the god of the west, and he is the god of the west wind, and he actually serves in the book. He serves this god. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. So easy.
You can't
This is the
remember
guy
every
who
god's
shoots-
name, dude.
I have to. Okay, so he shoots the arrows and makes people fall in love. Cupid. Jeez. Cupid is served by these Zephyrus spirits. And so for Cupid to woo his love, the most beautiful woman in the world, Psyche, it's not Psyche, it's Psyche. For him to woo her, he has to send his zephyrs to lift her up after she jumps off of a cliff. And then she gets whisked away on the zephyrs to his realm, right? The zephyrs are these nature spirits that serve this god, right? And so that's a really good example of how to understand the nature spirits and this hierarchy of spirits, is that the gods have dominion over their children, and their children are oftentimes these nature spirits. Sometimes they can be people if they're interbred with people. If they're interbred with nature, then they become these nature spirits. Now, a lot of Christians like to say that that is the example of why these guys are all devils. I don't know how that translates, because this is the context in which they believed it was happening. And to them, it wasn't so unfamiliar, because there was a spirit realm and there's a human realm. And in the human realm, the spirits can sort of freely pass through, including the gods, right? So it's a permeable membrane for things of the spirit. It's a subtle thing, right? And if it's a subtle thing, it can't be a purely physical thing. So that's how they saw it. So these things are kind of neutral, instead of all being devils from hell trying to drag your soul to Hades.
So it's kind of, they appear how so they appear to you basically from like according to your energy, or how or is it all from your perception?
Well, Here's a good example. The Aori, the nymphs, were of the breezes. They were daughters of Ether, the earth encircling river Oceanus, or the north wind Boreas. In this story, Kephalos, the dawn goddess Eos, was portrayed as a singular aura. Eos is goddess of the dawn. For the dawn to be represented in this story, in this case, the dawn becomes the flesh of this nature spirit, which is this being. So it's like not only humans can be possessed by the gods, right, to do miraculous things, but also the spirits can be possessed by the gods to do miraculous things. So the
Yeah.
spirit of this creature was possessed by the goddess of the dawn to bring in that rush of morning air.
Yeah, I've talked about how the elementals can be manipulated, by entities to do their
Right.
bidding. Yeah.
But specifically, there is always a breeze that accompanies the rising sun. If you notice, during the nighttime before the dawn, right, it's very still. And once the sun starts coming up, that's when all the breezes start to flow. This is when the spirits are most active. What they're trying to indicate to the reader is that these things are most active at dawn when they're being enlivened by the sun's energy.
Why do people say that like a whole bunch of dark spirits are kind of active at 3 a.m? What is that? Or is that just
I think that has to do with the positioning of the sun, because it's not exactly at 90 degrees through the earth to the location, but the sun's
do you
energy.
think there's like a certain time from 3 to 6 or sunrise? I don't know, where there's like something. There's
I
a
think
lot
from
of
12 to 3. That's sort of
12
the
to 3. Okay.
witching hour,
Okay.
right?
I got you.
Because
I got you.
if you're looking at the sun moving around it, 12 to 3 would be like this position. It's like directly pointed at that, kind of witching hour location, because that's where the sun is going to be
Is that the hour of the
transferring
wolf,
its
dude?
heat.
Is that the hour of the wolf? I don't know.
Could be, I don't know.
I don't know.
But a lot of this stuff has to do with the magnetic pressure of the nickel cadmium core that is creating our magnetic field, right? As that magnetic field is realigned from due south of our location where the sun is pointing to 1/3 off, right? It's transferring that energy through the earth as if to convex it, right? So everything good from the sun is now turned into everything evil as it passes through the earth. If you think about the time frame as being your perspective versus the sun's perspective. So it's like the inversion of the sun would occur from 12 to 3.
Okay. That is very interesting. So does then I don't know, does the opposite happen from 3 to 6? I don't know. Sorry.
Well, there is a raising of energy. Like that's
yeah.
I get
There's
up
like a
really
build
early
up.
with my job, right? And you can feel that sort of spiritual pressure through those times of day. But these spiritual forces are far more apparent to people at night than they are during the daytime.
Isn't that why so many people, worship the sun back then? Is because the sun would come up and would bring life?
That's part of it. But also, I've been getting into this new phenomenon that's sort of emerged in the past, I don't know, 10 years, of blindfold sight. Have you ever heard of this?
You blindfold yourself and walk around?
I sent you a podcast on it. So
that
what they're
okay.
doing is they're training blind people and children to see without eyes. Right? They've got these windows of perception around the head that they can kind of manipulate and start to see things from them.
Kids are clairvoyant. Yeah.
Right. but they're starting to train it just based off of, trial and error, trying to get people to see colors, get people to see in 360-degree vision, right? And this blindfold sight is actually kind of taking off right now. There's a recent episode of something Jones, I forgot his name, but he's a new podcaster on YouTube. He's pretty big, something Jones, but he's got this blindfold sight instructor on his show. She's putting on multiple layers of these blindfolds, right? And she's reading books with these blindfolds on. And he's just choosing random books, and he's just holding them up in front of her blindfolded face, and she's just reading. And it's like, what's going on here? Her abilities to blindfold sight are because of the time that she spends in the sun. It's strange.
Wow.
The sun is directly related to her blindfold sight.
Dude, that's crazy. The sun is kind of responsible for giving her this I mean,
It's
you call
the
it an
fourth
ability.
phase of water. Fourth phase of water. It's charging the water. When the sun hits the water, we're mostly water, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah, we're like
collects
90 something
energy.
percent water or
Right.
70 something.
So
I don't know. No, that's the Earth.
So if you look up Veda Austin on Instagram, she's got all of these images where all she does is write on a piece of paper like a word. She'll put it next to this water in a petri dish, freeze the petri dish, and pull it out. And the image of what she wrote on that piece of paper is right there in the ice, right there in the ice crystals. And it's like, how did that happen? How did you get ice crystals in the shape of the thing you wrote down? Well, what if water is a form of consciousness as well as this plasma, right? What if water has that sort of plasmatic quality to it? Which goes back into the daughters and sons of Okeanos, which would be these water spirits. In the Orphic hymns, they talk about how Helios, the sun, is lover of the stream, lover of water, lover of the stream, right? And if you know your Victor Schauberger, he talks about the carrying load of the stream being 35 degrees. 35 degrees is the best temperature you could have when you're flowing logs down those streams, right? Down the log flumes.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets into the sun, it creates that fourth phase of water and everything slows down. You don't get the maximum speed that you can get at a lower temperature because the water is enlivened by the sun. The energy of the fourth phase of water is now activated by the sun hitting it with those electrons. And the Greeks were talking about it in the Orphic hymn to Helios.
So is it better to fish when the sun is out or when it's not? Do the fish come? Because I thought the fish wouldn't come to the surface. I don't know, because of the sun being out. But like if it's so hot, I guess that may be just the temperature in the air. I don't know.
I got it.
Because it's hot as fuck down here during the summer. So
why do you catch fish? They're hunting.
It's fun.
They're hunting. They want to go for that hook. They're looking for food.
Right. Yeah.
What's the best temperature for them to be hunting and looking for food? It's when the water isn't stagnant with all that solar energy. It's early in the morning when they can get better traction through the water, right?
Okay.
They can strike their target better. So that's why maybe fishing at dawn would be a better time for the fish and for you to catch them because they're hunting your bait.
What if consciousness is in the water? Water has memory. So I learned that from Frozen 2. Which that whole movie, dude, we could watch that and just as an elemental episode. Except they aren't. They have trolls in their little world, but the Earth is represented as giants. Actually, these big stone giants. What's up with that? What's up with the stone giants?
We'll get into that, but we got to go over the Nereids first.
The Nereids, those are the water nymphs, right?
There you go. So the Nereids are the sons and daughters
I'm
of
learning.
Oceanus and Tethys. And Tethys and Oceanus were the titans of the oceans, right? Oceanus is the oceans that surround the world. That's his full title. And Tethys is his wife, and this is where all of the sea monsters, everything else comes from. What's interesting about this is the mystery that's enclosed in it, is that Zeus's wife, Hera, was raised by Oceanus and Tethys, and she was convinced that Oceanus and Tethys were actually the first god and goddess. She was convinced that the water gods were first, not the sky gods, not the earth gods, but the water gods. What does that sound like?
I mean, dude, you hear? I've talked about Credo Motwa numerous times, and how he talks about these fish beings that came down to his people long ago, and that they were like the first beings on this planet were mammals, but in the ocean they were like whale and dolphin. Yeah, like hominids or something.
Babylonians.
I don't know.
Babylonians had the sea gods that were
Dagon.
first.
Yeah, you had Dagon.
That were first, that taught them everything, right? Atlantis was ruled by, Atlas and all the sea gods, right? So the sea gods versus the earth gods is something that you see in Greek mythology, especially in the case of Athens. Athena and Neptune, or not Neptune, Poseidon went to war over who would be the patron god of Athens. And so the first horse was the water horse. And Poseidon took his trident and he smashed it against a rock, and the water horse burst forth, and this huge saltwater spring came out of it. And he's like, "What do you think of that, Athenians? I'm your god. You got to pick me. Look at that."
Have you seen Frozen 2, Headless? Have you seen Frozen 2?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, dude. So the water entity is a horse. Yeah. Wow, man.
The water horse.
Yeah, makes sense now.
That's where they got it from.
I was wondering why they chose a horse. So yeah, I was like, "Oh, seahorse," but I didn't think to look.
Dude, Nessie is a seahorse.
Absolutely, yeah, probably existed.
Well, right, but all of those things with flippers and a long neck, they look like seahorses. They even made the movie Water Horse.
Hold on, I have a rumble rant.
There's this connection, and the seahorse looks like a horse, for fuck's sake.
Oh, dude, I got a rumble rant from Assbutt.
Again, water spirits.
Well,
what's Assbutt saying?
We'll get back to the water spirits, Headless. I'm going to pull this up real fast. Assbutt, this is the first donation I've received in quite some time, man. Thank you. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters, though. You guys are awesome. Y'all constantly donate every month to me, and I appreciate it. Sending about 5 or 6 sticker packs out by the end of the weekend. I'll have them sent out by Monday. So a couple people in the chat, I think. So hold on, let me pull this up, Assbutt. All right, Headless. Sorry, you can keep talking about the Naiads for a second.
My girl Kareen's in the chat. Welcome, Kareen.
Hey, Kareen.
I was just talking to her about her dreams. Thank you for joining us. So,
let me
on the other hand, you had Athena. And Athena, she brought something else to the table. She brought the olive tree.
Assbutt says, when the sun reflects off Jules' bare chest, it charges my water. For $10. Thank you, Assbutt, for the $10 donation, man. I appreciate it.
Get it, buddy.
My guy. Everybody watch Assbutt's live music show on Thursday nights, his live piano stream that he does. Yeah, dude, he does a piano stream on Rumble where he takes requests and, with donations if y'all want. He's a very, very talented, skilled piano player. Dude fucks hard. Love you, ass bud. Anyway, let me quit glazing my friend. And we're talking, water whore, Z-Man. Z-Man, it's good to see you too. Sorry, Headless, my audience. I haven't seen a couple of these people in a while. So they're my only friends.
Water whores. Dude,
water
whores are the worst. I mean, do we have to go to the Odyssey to find out about the water
the
whores?
sirens.
The sirens.
Yeah, man.
Bring you over to the rocks and destroy you. Water whores indeed.
Well, they're described in pop culture, as these beautiful. And I'm sure. I mean, could they kind of shapeshift back and forth? Like, was their form like that of like actually hideous, but then they could make themselves pretty, or what?
Originally, in the Greek mythology, the sirens were the harpies. They were the winged creatures with these bird legs that would carry people away.
Dude.
Again, with the boobies out.
No shit.
They can't have the boobies strapped in as they're carrying people to their death.
They had to put shells on their boobies.
Yes, they are very much shapeshifters.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. See, that opens up a whole new spectrum to it, in my opinion, dude. Because we talked about how this was going to be like a rustic gods versus urban gods. Urban meaning, guys like the urban myths and tales and stuff. A lot of cryptids, right? Paranormal figures and beings. So I mean, yeah, dude, I'd say I think and I've said this since I started Gray Pilled, I think that the cryptid stuff and all the spiritual elemental stuff, like it all ties in to each other, right? It's all kind of part of the same world.
It really is. And I think if we get the proper perspective on this stuff, we can start to maximize the effectiveness of our technology for us, right? These elementals are there if we respect them, if we create technology around having them be useful to us in a mutually beneficial agreement. We find that the earth becomes more of a friend than an enemy. If all we're doing is going around destroying the places where they live and treating them like garbage, what we find is that curses end up happening to us. So when people talk about environmentalism and preserving these forests and everything else, they're not paying any attention to the spiritual nature of these places, right?
Yeah, dude. And think about it. There's all these rogue cryptids everywhere nowadays. Like you got so many caught on footage, way more, and it's like, what if these are just these elementals fleeing the woods and they have to disguise themselves, or like, I don't know.
Our perception
we're destroying their homes and turning them into these grotesque, like cryptid creatures,
hideous, twisted creatures.
And then we fear them and we, grab your pitchforks.
It's a terrible
and all that.
cycle. Our ancestors had to learn to get along with the spirits of the land. And they did so through these myths. And what they found is that when they cooperated, when they communicated, they had a better result. When they controlled those vagus nerve reactions, they had a better result. And why wouldn't they? These are natural energies that surround us. It's not that gay of a concept when God you actually understand what animism, what polytheism, what these things kind of represent.
I was going to say, whoever created this planet created the elementals, created. Yeah. I mean, it's just these elementals. We had brought it up earlier that they can be corrupted or kind of taken advantage of, right? Manipulated by higher, or, I mean, you can call them entities or whatever, forces, other forces, and even other forces of nature too, right?
In the Bible, it says we name every creature. These are creatures.
Yeah,
no doubt in your mind that they are creatures, if they allow you to scare based off of their appearance, they will be a negative entity. If you can
Absolutely.
move through that fear, like the Gom Jabbar ritual, right? Have you ever read
What is
Dune?
that? Dune? No.
Oh my God, you got to read Dune. So
Yeah,
the Gom
I've
Jabbar,
thought about watching the
the,
movie, but that's about it.
the Gom Jabbar ritual is where the high priestess will put the king or the prospective king's hand into this box. And then she'll hypnotize him into thinking that his hand is now on fire and melting, dripping flesh into this box in the most horrific, painful way imaginable. So his mind is on fire with pain. But if he pulls his hand out of the box, the high priestess or the witch has a needle to his neck that has poison in it. If he pulls his hand out, he dies. Right? He has to keep his hand in there and endure the flames of torment so that he can get the message that is necessary for him to be ruler.
Interesting.
Every single time we see a confrontation with these spirits where a person flees, where a person is afraid, the entire operation goes belly up. When you show no fear and you overcome the obstacle, none of these things can harm you, and you
Isn't
lead
that
a charmed
symbolic of like
life.
anything in life too, right? Like that should just be a common kind of
It's inverted. It's
thing that you
completely
live by.
inverted. You're looking at these things as demonic. These are obstacles for you to overcome, given to you by the Mother Earth that cares about you. The entire frame of reference is off because of the fact that we're supposed to be afraid of our home, of our cradle, of the thing that gave us life.
Right.
That's unnatural. We shouldn't think that way. We shouldn't think that we're different from the earth. We're part of the earth. That's the big problem. That's what I keep running into is, hey, this material body, it may not be perfect, but it's still part of this earth, and I'm part of this earth, and everything should get along in harmony. We have to find that harmony.
Right.
That's what our job is, to protect our people and to raise our children, just like every other animal out there.
There's not too much harmony on the earth right now, unfortunately. So
I think there's an intentional blurring of the lines,
right,
an
JC.
intentional skewing of these boundaries that we've had since the beginning, and now we're sort of rediscovering. We're rediscovering those boundaries, and now we have to fortify them because we've been brainwashed into thinking those boundaries don't matter. They do. We are important. We are part of this planet. And I think that all of these nature spirits confirm that because we are a genus of nature spirit. We are human, right? That's part of who we are. We're the same kind of plasmagenic consciousness as the things we see around us. These nature spirits were part of becoming men. You would have to go into the wilderness, confront the nature spirits, move through these ordeals and these oracular phenomena so that you could become a man. You would have to view the other side. That's incredibly important when it comes to mortal life. And it transcends polytheism and animism. No, that's Kareen. That's my buddy.
Yeah, it's your friend. No, I was reading what she said. Yeah, I was talking about the sun earlier. How I catch myself looking into it sometimes, and it this weird feeling that you get afterwards. That I'm pretty sure has to do with the solar energy. But
tell me about it.
Maybe why people, like I said, they worship the sun. Maybe they stared into it for hours and they would talk to God. I don't know, like who knows how it was back then. No one.
It was because I can tell you all of the people observing these constellations and having these experiences that produce this mythology, it wasn't because these energies are fixed. These are mutable. The stories they give us are mutable. They change from one generation to the next, and you have to be honest about the transformation of the energy in metaphor so that the people around you can understand what you're seeing. This was the process of becoming a priest, is by understanding the proper metaphor to give to your people so that they could move in harmony with nature itself. Because you talked to the spirits, because you respected them, right?
Right.
These are the gifts that you get with harmony. These are not the gifts you get with disunity. You can see what disunity looks like right now. Our high priests in Washington, D.C. do not reflect our interests in any way whatsoever because they have no love for the land and they have no love for the people.
Right.
You have to have that.
They love a completely foreign land and people. Yeah.
And money. What is money if not a unit of exchange of the people
Don't get me started on money right now, Headless. Fucking, because nothing's been, I don't know, man. Nothing has been done in this past year to improve the inflation or anything. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, dude. My fucking mortgage is like $200 more expensive since Trump's been in office. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, fuck, fuck this, But I mean, it is what it is. But
it's
bullshit.
Exactly.
But no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
All of these things
us,
are holistic perspectives. We have to think about our generations hundreds of years into the future and how they get along with the spirits that are already engaging in the same kind of birth, death, rebirth that we are, right? This is the dance that we often face with our nature, but that comes with harmony, right?
Yeah.
We're not looking towards that at all.
Yeah, we're very much out of harmony with nature. You can just tell that by the litter. Look at all the trash on the street, dude. You know what I mean? Bingo. It makes me sick. I've talked about it a lot. Makes me really mad. One of my biggest pet peeves, especially when someone's next or near a garbage can and they throw some on the ground, dude. I'll that's when I'll say something. I'll be like, "All right, asshole, look," or go throw the trash back in their car, guys. That's what you need to do.
Imagine this. We're to the point right now where we can understand that there are energetic.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I have something for that. Hold on.
We use the mortgage.
Shout out to
elementals anyway. Like, we would have relationships with the spirits that were around us, and we would talk with them, and they would talk with us, and we would kind of understand each other and get into a harmony and try and change things for the better.
Yeah.
We have to understand that not everything is fixed in the way that we want it to be. We want things to have a single form. Oftentimes, fates, spiritual entities, they have a trickster nature. How do you deal with that? Well, we've got tried and true methods from our ancestors that tell us how that works. But if we're not willing to look, we'll never know.
I have a list.
Go for it.
Keep going. No, I was going to say I have a list of it's what I was sharing with you last time of all the nature spirits that but I can't find it because I know we had talked about a few more, but sorry, I was looking for it, but I
what do you think one of the tried and true methods of managing nature spirits is? Iron and copper.
Wait, what did you say? What was the first one? Iron and copper?
Iron and copper. Copper is attracting nature spirits. iron is repelling nature spirits. Right? So if you want to create a more harmonious zone, you have to look at the iron and copper that is used in the structure that you are putting on that space. Right? Orientation, north, south, east, and west. If you notice, there's something strange about when you forge metal north to south, it becomes magnetic. Right? Just by orienting your piece of iron north to south, it becomes a magnet as you're pounding. You don't think that affects you. You don't think that affects the iron in your blood.
Absolutely does.
So we've got this hermetic science that is talking about all of these factors that we're just throwing out because it's ancient. It doesn't make any difference today. They talk about the iron, they talk about the copper, they talk about the alchemy.
But because and they hide all this stuff from us too, right? They hide all this stuff from us. Not hiding it from us for our own good. You know what I mean? Like
the alchemists had to hide it under layers and layers of esotericism because their experimentation that they were revealing to you would have got them killed.
Yeah.
They had to hide it.
That's wild.
But if you read it in the way that they wanted you to, instead of this demonic shit stain way that we've all been reading it as, all this Kabbalism and everything else, Kabbalism came through the Greeks. It was isopsophy. That was the first Kabbalism combined with a little bit of Persianism. But what do you expect?
Zoroastrianism?
You've heard of Perseus, the guy who cut off Medusa's head?
Yes.
Perseus just means Persian guy.
Oh, okay. So it's just some Persian guy.
Just some Persian guy that did it.
Okay. That makes more sense.
So it's kind of strange because there's a lot of that stuff too. Once you get into the etymology, it's kind of...
I hate how he's portrayed in some of these movies as Heracles, and it's just not the same person at all.
He's the grandfather of Heracles.
Oh, he is?
Great grandfather.
Okay, well, there you go. Makes more sense to me now.
The Greek demigods really do come from a single line. So you've got Perseus, Jason, Heracles. No, Jason and Heracles, I think they were cousins. Jason was the one with the golden fleece. But Jason and Heracles went there together. Heracles was in his boat.
Okay.
They're all related.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I said, I thought I was wrong. I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And then...
Do you know where Medusa was? Africa. You had to go to Africa to her. Yeah.
She was in the Absu, dude. Southern Africa?
It was actually Eastern Africa, right below Africa, or right below Egypt. So that would be...
Okay.
Well, it's not Somalia. It's the other one. It's the one that invaded Somalia. Ethiopia.
Ah, okay. Really? Medusa was in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Medusa's story is interesting because she was raped inside of, I believe it was Artemis's temple. And Artemis changed her into Medusa to allow her to have the perfect self-defense. Nobody else could rape her. She was the most beautiful woman in the world. Artemis turned her into that alongside her two sisters because she never wanted her to be touched again because it was such a crime that anyone would defile her.
Yeah.
And so she turned her into that thing, and then she could turn any man or anyone to stone. And it wasn't until the mirror was held up to her that she was able to be defeated.
Was it some kind of Faustian bargain or something?
I don't think she wanted any part of it. Like she was in so in a lot of Greek mythology, when someone is in unexpressible anguish, the gods will step in and turn them into something else. So when she was being raped by Poseidon, uh, I think it was Artemis that turned her into the creature that could turn a man to stone with just her gaze. And so that's when she became the Gorgon.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna ask you about the Gorgon or the Gorga. Well, the Gorgon would just be a male, right? Just a male version.
Now, Gorgons were basically kind of like a stone human snake kind of a creature.
Okay. Yeah, I had looked into that, dude. Yeah, there you go. There's another cryptid, bro.
They
Right?
put Gorgons
Something that
all
would be
over
identified as
France.
a cryptid.
Gorgons are all over France. All over the great cathedrals, you'll find at least like 10,000 Gorgons. Gorgons became gargoyles. Again, nature
Okay,
spirit.
that's okay. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, dude, that and gargoyles are usually portrayed, as stone, right? Until the sun goes down, and then
Bingo.
they come to life.
Yep.
One of the best shows ever as a kid.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro. Shout out
That was
gargoyles.
a great show. Shout out Gargoyles.
It was.
Darkwing Duck was also kind of funny. I mean, it was really campy. Really campy.
Shows used to be so much better than this
Oh, dude, the Disney
brain
afternoon was the
rot that they
shit,
feed
dude.
you now, or that they feed our kids. They should have had Medusa fight King Midas. I don't know how that would have turned out for King Midas, to be honest with you. Went
Where
and
was
just
King
ran
Midas?
at her. I don't know. All she had to do, the guy that could touch stuff, and that satyr gave him the power to turn stuff to gold. He had the golden touch, right?
Thrace. He was in Thrace.
He was in Thrace. Dude, he had the Midas touch. Mall gargoyles needed for revival. Absolutely, Donald.
What about the gargoyle in the Denver airport that talks to visitors as they're trying to pick up their luggage?
What about him?
Have you ever heard some of the phrases that he's programmed with?
Yeah.
Fucking weird.
It is very strange, man. If I was a normie and I ran into that thing, I would be like, what the fuck is this place? That would probably weird me out, to be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about it.
When you understand the Medusa connection, though, you can then track the gargoyle in the Denver airport all the way back to ancient Greece, all the way back to the Aegis.
Wait, what?
The Aegis.
The gargoyle that's in the airport?
Yeah, because that's a Gorgon. The Gorgon goes
just
all the way
means
back.
as a gargoyle. Right. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
that
dude.
symbol.
Let's see if we can find a video of that guy.
The Aegis is so important for the Greeks. The Aegis is the shield, right, that they put Medusa's head on. This is like the shield that turns you into fucking stone. That's the ultimate defense and offense at the same time.
Trying to see if this guy has a name.
And die. I mean, come on.
Let me see. I could probably go on YouTube again, but then we would get flagged because we're streaming to YouTube.
So you can't stream YouTube videos to YouTube.
Sure can't. I try to do it for.
That's insane.
And yeah, it's wild, stupid copyright thing. You streaming to Rumble, and Twitter, I guess, but not YouTube, not the platform that you're streaming it off of. The video, that is.
I just want to get across to people, though, that nature spirits, right? So here's how it works in Greek cosmology. you have 3 different types of spirits. Daimones, which is neutral spirit. Demons, which, demons are neutral in Greek. It's just a Greek word. You don't have to freak out. And then you have the eudaimones. Eudaimones means good spirits. So Michael, right? The guy with the sword that kills the demons, that would be an eudaimones. It's just a word. Don't freak out. Right? And then you have keikodaimones. Keikodaimones are evil spirits. So Satan would be the keikodaimones. Right? Demons. Right. Keiko demon. Right? You remember from Doom?
Been a
Do I
while.
have to play the music?
Wait, what?
He kills the Keiko demon, right? It's the guy with the one eye and the hair made of snakes. Obviously, back to the Gorgon. One eye, hair made of snakes.
Dude.
Keiko daimones. You want the Keiko daimones to be facing that way instead of facing this way. That's basically what it comes down to. Friend-enemy dichotomy. Keiko daimones, go that way. Not this way.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's like if a thing is evil, you want that pointed at your enemy. You don't want it pointed at you. It's all based off of proximity. That's what evil and good is in the ancient world, right? If something is bad, I want it pointed that way. Makes more sense, right? It's like sometimes you have to do bad things, okay? But they got to go that way, not this way.
Right.
Basic orientation, right? So that's what a Gorgon is. You want the Gorgon to be facing out. You don't want it to be facing towards you. That's why you put the face of Medusa on your shields. Is because you want that facing out.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Right.
Facing out to your enemies. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Percy is holding up the head of Medusa. Algol is her eye in the asterism because he's pointing it outward. Keep the fuck away from me, you bastards. That's all it is. Good, evil, chaos, order are based off of orientation, which should be fucking obvious if we weren't all universalists. Who introduced the universalism? There's your answer. Anytime anyone is telling you, I have freedom of speech and you don't, they're your fucking enemy. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that right now, dude. We're seeing a lot of that right now. A lot of shut it down. A lot of all that stuff. Yeah, tons of that. So let's see. All right, so I was gonna ask you about next.
Well, this is why I think the rustic gods are so important, is because you don't get the full perspective until you put it into orientation. North, west, east, south. These are all important because your people are good. They give you a better shot than any of those people.
I'm looking at the Demonones or the Demonones. Yeah, right? Daimones. Daimones. And dude, there's a lot of them that are portrayed with wings.
Daimonos just means spirit.
So it's just it's just a portrayal, just them being a.
What is?
Oh, dude, fear looks crazy. That's wild.
What is the Roman equivalent of daimones?
You would know that. I
Genius. I'm not calling you a genius. I'm saying that's the word.
Really?
Genius. Genius.
Interesting.
Daimones is genius. So if you have genius, you're possessed by demons. Or or it's a spirit. It's a spirit that you possess that makes you smart. Neutral terms exist. Not everything has to be good, evil. There are shades of gray. I've got a genius that makes me able to explain the word genius. You have a genius that makes you able to deliver packages. And I have that too. You see what I'm saying? These are spirits. These are neutral terms.
Right, right. No,
That's all it is.
I'm seeing right here. Yeah, you have phobos, fear, and then you have like death. So you do it. Yeah, you have your neutral ones, your good ones, and then your dark ones.
Because everything is a continuum. It's a scale. It's like,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
Here, I'm looking at the website you sent me last time for our first episode. Our first, I guess, yeah. Let's see. There was something I wanted to ask you about. I don't know. It may have been. Oh yeah, the mountain elementals. What are those? Are those just the same as earth elementals
It depends.
or earth spirits?
No, it really depends. This is very important because mountain spirits could be an elemental, or it could be the god above all other gods, right? Mount Fuji is an example of the god above all other gods. Mount Ida is where Zeus was suckled by, again, the water goat. The water goat. Again, the spirit of the water goat, the idea of the water goat.
Right.
Mount Olympus, Mount Hermon, right? You've got all of these mountains that relate to the god that is highest above all gods. According to who is in proximity to that mountain, maybe? Whoever gets to pick the mountain gets to be the ruler. A different kind of king of the mountain, maybe, a little bit. Maybe that's where we get the idea of king of the mountain. Is
you just have these entities warring for this like high position, or like this what do we call it? Like a god of the high place or something, right?
Right.
Lord of the high place.
Right. And that's how you would choose your king, is because whoever gets to choose the high place gets to choose the king.
Right.
Religious rivalries. Who has the tallest mountain in their range? Right? We have this, you have that. How do we come together to make a story that gives us ethnogenesis? One mountain's taller than the other. That guy's fit to rule. He comes from a much higher stature, closer to the gods.
Hey, so would a satyr be like some kind of manifestation of just like some kind of manifestation of Pan?
Oh yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pan is always trying to get it on with the nymphs.
Right. Yeah, we were talking about that. We're gonna catch that goat man when we go cryptid hunting.
A goat man is definitely a manifestation of like the offspring of Pan. Goats are notoriously horny. They have herbs named after
horny goat weed, dude.
Goat weed. There we go. You see what I'm saying?
Never had to use it.
The goat is the horny thing. And that is what they're trying to go for with nature spirits. They want the nature spirits to be horny because then their crops get bigger. Right? This is where sacrifice comes in. And this gets ugly. Because nature spirits love the taste of blood. They really do.
Is that why they're all, or I mean, I don't know, dude. Is that why they're always kind of fighting with each other?
We're just kind of sacks of flesh to them.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I've heard that when some people leave their bodies, you know, they look down and at themselves and they don't even recognize what they are because they're in this elevated state, right, of their spirit. They don't even recognize their body. They're like, what is this sack of meat down below me? Like when people have near-death experiences, or even when maybe astral projecting too. I don't know.
Imagine being born in that state and looking at us. You think
Yeah,
maybe
that'd
you
be
want
weird.
to, if you're not in harmony with them, you think they might want to fuck with you? Fuck with you to get you to kill yourself? Because they're looking at that whole fucking thing and they're thinking, hey, you know what? Let's go for that guy. He can see us. Let's fuck with him. Let's make him think that we're voices in his head.
So it's like being out of harmony would allow something like these demons to come, or for these spirits to turn dark and to come after you, right? It's like
What if
the
they have
opposite
an
of living in
elevated?
harmony and being visited by a happy spirit, or something heavenly, or of God, right?
What if they sense weakness and they can understand how
I think they
they can
can.
turn
Yeah.
you against yourself?
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, people start here, right? The voices in people's heads, right? That's a prime example of it, dude. And the same can happen, for in a good way. You could have, you could be doing good and have positive thoughts of
How is any of this
positive affirmation.
supernatural? How is any of this supernatural? This happens all the time outside of ourselves right now. We can watch it in nature. We can see the birds doing it to other birds.
Right.
We can see the squirrels doing it to the birds by false alerting and then taking the nuts, which they are prone to do.
They take, yeah.
These
Squirrels love their
things
nuts.
are trained back and forth across the veil. They're trained back and forth across the veil. So if we're not able to recognize it on our level of understanding, we're not gonna get it when it comes to spirit. This is why animals are so important to inform us
Is
of
that
the
why animal
nature of these
symbolism
spirits.
is always used so much? Yeah,
It's the
I figured.
perception they're trying to get you to understand of these spirits, right? Because they take
Interesting.
on those characters. You watch them in nature, you see them in the spirit world. It's that simple. Nature is connected to spirit. It was there before us. It doesn't represent our mind, but it's a very different perspective than what we get out of, Abrahamic
Yeah.
beliefs. I feel like I'm diatribing. I don't want to diatribe.
Oh, bro, you're good. You're killing it. I did want to, because I didn't know how much longer we were going to be here, but if you wanted, I was going to bring up the
We can
10.
wrap it up now. This is great. I think this is a good example of why the rustic spirits are important, because these are in our thoughts, maybe on the periphery, right? This is the survival mechanism on the outside of our brains. It's not necessarily the core. Our core is focused on our day-to-day
Right.
goals. But on the outside, we've got this sort of fear response, right? We've got this primal response that's not necessarily present in our everyday lives that we have to kind of come to grips with to understand ourselves.
Right.
It's a very Jungian process that I think he perfectly described in a lot of ways.
Well, like I said, I love learning about this stuff from you. So, let me see. Oh, I was gonna I was gonna bring this up. Whatever we were talking about pre-show. Who's that guy? The
Which
10 the
one?
10
We were talking for a
10
while.
10
Tintinabulum.
tintinabulum. Yeah, the tintinabulum. Yeah, that guy. I was gonna bring him up. Show everybody. I'm sure Z-Man
Oh
would
boy.
get a kick out this guy. You guys
Why do
think
we make it a mystery? I gotta pee.
make
I'm
it a
gonna be
mystery?
honest.
I mean, it's not so much a mystery once you see him.
Tintinabulum. I had to figure out how it was spelled, even though I didn't want to. Tintinabulum. You know what
Tintinabulum, and who was the other guy that you showed me?
Fashionos.
Fashionos. Yeah, dude. We're gonna pull this.
I
Up.
can go for hours. How about that's the next one? Because there's rustic gods associated with the phallic. The phallic.
Tintinabulum, dude. Guys, I was like, well, those could be mushrooms on his head, but I don't think so.
We'll do fertility because
Oh my
fertility
God.
rites
Dude.
rights are very important to understand. Oh yeah, fashionous.
Almost broke my fucking headphones laughing. It's so hard. Oh man.
This is a preview, guys. We will get into
dude.
fertility ritual magic next episode when we can. But this is it. This is where we're at.
Oh man. Oh dude,
I'm
very interested in learning. I mean, just
What's
to know
this?
how this came about. You said that the Greeks had a pretty good sense of humor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And they would hang these up.
This is their wind chimes. They would put these out back in their houses. It's like, oh look, the tintinabulum is tickling. It's funny. Because it is.
Fuck yeah, it's funny, dude. I mean, hey. Oh man. Nothing has changed.
Fertility rituals next time because that
funny,
is
dude.
Essential to understanding all of this stuff. Spiritual energy in general is all predicated by fertility.
Oh man. I mean, yeah. I mean, how, you know, there's a penis.
But seriously, though, I gotta pee.
Yeah. Speaking of the tintinabulum, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Y'all tune in the morning for Esoteric Book Review. We're going to be reading, I think the Mysteries of Hermes Trismegistus. It's a Manly Palmer Hall treatise, so it's going to be a good one. We'll be starting it. So, hanging zero. You beat me to it, dude. Headless, you're influencing all my audience members to get the tintinabulum as decoration. They'll do it too. I got to convince my wife to do that. And to put a green man face out there with all the salamanders in my backyard, so they have a green man to go look at.
It's just tradition. Like if she doesn't like it, that's tradition, okay?
Well, hey, I mean, dude, I love having my own house now. You know, I get to pick out some of the decor. So yeah, we have a little garden. Like I said, we have a little salamander garden back there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got some fire plants? You got to get some fire plants.
Fire plants?
Yellows.
I'll plant some back there. Yellows. We have it, dude. I have it. It's a perfect, just a little, we have just, you know, wildflowers that grow in there that my daughter picks. A little yellow, purple, blue, all sorts of colors of flowers that grow in there. But, well, yeah, I definitely want to grow the garden. I'm trying to get a bigger property here in the next few years. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. It already happened.
I know.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah. No, guys. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, Esoteric Book Review. And then, like I said, Sunday we'll do Twin Peaks because I got to change my oil tomorrow. And me and my son got to do the yard. Fun times. But Twin Peaks, last 3 episodes of season 3 on Sunday. I'll be streaming that live. Y'all be sure to tune into that. It's a Patreon show, so it'll go to Patreon afterwards, but we'll stream it live for the fuck of it. Why not? If you're down in Florida right now, you go see Nick. Yeah, Nick is at I don't know what event. I should know these things. If I'm doing an Occult Reject show with I don't know.
I thought he was coming on. I thought
he was going to come on too. He's
ghost hunting right now, dude. He's
with Brooke
as we're talking about it. Yep.
Shout out Brooke from Dark, Florida.
Hell yeah.
Also another Occult Reject. She
watch your eyes.
Cryptid hunting.
Tintinabulum are prone to poking eyes out. That was a pre-show thing. We'll get to that next time.
All right, guys. But yeah, thank you all for coming and hanging out. Love you all. Have a good weekend. If I don't see you, I'm trying to figure out. Well, this is an Occult Reject show, so I'm not going to play all my ads and do all my stuff. So later, guys.